Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Let's go with 6316, 8.8 for 6,000.
Got 6316, North Yelp Road, still maintain 3,000, I'm 1 for the right.
3,000, let's go with 6316.
Redwood 811, still maintain 4,000, airport's open o'clock, 1.
We take you higher and higher and higher. You feel it over and over again. We take you higher and higher and higher. You feel it over and over again.
6 Roman Terrafly runway heading, runway 5. Let's take off.
Check.
And we're ready for takeoff. Sit back, relax. It's time to travel with Cosmic Passport. Spaced Out Weekend presents Elizabeth Anglin's Cosmic Passport. A 1-hour warm-up of news, stories, thoughts, and ideas to captivate your mind. You can follow us at spacedoutradio.com.
Now 20 years have passed us by, and we look back and count the time. Burning like the summer sun, when the world was young. As I lay staring from the ground, and 7 trumpets wait to sound.
And now, here's Our Lady of Flight, Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio Weekend. This is Elizabeth Anglin, your host of Cosmic Passport this evening, where we are going to be talking about, Oz. Pay no attention to that theosophist behind the curtain. We're going to be talking about the myths of the third eye and the chakra system, which are terms we all use, and I'll probably continue to use them, even though they really aren't helpful. And we're going to talk about why they might be holding you up, at least the third eye. Chakras, not so much. Most people don't get held up if they think about energy centers and call them that. But that's what we're talking about tonight. How did we get those terms? What do they mean? Who brought them to us? Did they know what they were talking about? And more. But before we do that, we'd like to let you know that we are spacedoutradio.com. If you are listening to us on Spreaker, thank you. Please take part in the chat room. I am not going to be answering questions tonight about people's spiritual paths on the chat room because I'm going to be doing some reading and other talking. But if you have other questions, I think in a little bit James will come back and break in and ask them. So you can ask questions, but this will be topic related this evening, not about you personally. So if you're on spacedoutradio.com and you're in the chat, you'll be having James look at chat in a little bit. I will do my best to look at the SOR Space Travelers chat room. Now, both James and I look like Spaced Out Radio when we get into the chat room. Yes, I know, it's confusing. So I will write Liz. If you see me in chat, you should see Liz by my comments. And I will just let James be the magnificent uber being that he is. You just know it's him by the vibe he gives off. If you are listening to Spaced Out Radio on one of our other, I just am, all over the place, just melding this all in here. If you're listening to us on freedomslips.com, which you may be, I'm not sure if that's happening through Revolution Radio, thank you, this evening. You can find us on iTunes. Thank you. And tune in the World's Radio. Thank you if you're listening through there. If you like us and you are a space traveler, i.e., have you been to space lately? Well, if you have, you're one of us. So consider becoming an SOR space traveler and joining our little radio online group here by going to the link, SOR Space Traveler link, and joining for $5 a month. You'll get archives, news, and monthly swag, which we bring to you out of the goodness of our hearts. And I think we should have a trivia swag drawing, which is who wins the trivia contest. Sort of like, wait, don't tell me. Or wait, don't let me see Bigfoot. Or wait, don't let the aliens take me away. Does anybody listen to Wait, Don't Tell Me? Because I do. You can tell. I really like Wait, Don't Tell Me. We need a panel. We need a contest, and then we can give away even more swag if you are a spaced out radio space traveler. Okay, that being said, let's get on with tonight's show. Some of you who know me know that I have my bugaboos. I like definitions of things. I like words. Words are good, or how we define things are good, but sometimes they're not helpful, and I found that in my practice as a Reiki master for the past 22 years and an intuitive and spirit medium for the past 20 years, that one of the things that has really held people up in their intuitive practice and even in their attempting, to open up to the universe, to open up to oneness, to open up to their own spiritual divinity and their own spiritual, their higher self, or higher selves as that may be, or their beingnesses across time, is that they get a real solid and significant and real mental thought form of the third eye. And I have seen people walking around with mental thought forms of closed third eyes. I have seen people walking around with mental thought forms of open third eyes. Does not mean that they're psychic in any way, shape, or form. I have seen people walking around with different colored mental thought forms of third eyes, like mine's rainbow colored, mine's silver, mine's platinum, mine's gold. Okay, all of these things. And sometimes when I see this, there's this spiritual materialism / egotism to, hey, baby, what's your third eye doing today? And I have to tell you, in any class that I've ever taken in spirit mediumship, in animal communication, any class I've taught in animal communication, in Reiki, in anything else, I have not had a teacher who has told me, oh, remote viewing, especially not remote viewing. None of my teachers have ever mentioned having to do anything with the third eye to get anything done on an intuitive level. Think about that. You don't need to do anything with a third eye to get anything done on an intuitive level. Nothing. Nada. Nunca. Nothing, nada, never. You nine. Nothing. Good teachers teaching in good classrooms. The Air Institute, the oldest teaching arm of the oldest spiritualist church, no third eye mentioned. Farsight Institute, remote viewing. Do you need the third eye for remote viewing? Not so much. When you take a Reiki class from a teacher who was taught by Mrs. Takata, who I was taught by was a teacher who was taught by Mrs. Takata, we do work with the brow. We do work with setting different energy into the brow or the ajna, and you will experience light and you will experience openness and colors in that area, which is where they say the third eye is. But when you're actually working with intuition and when you have spirits coming to work with you, they tend to stand behind you and they tend to work on your occipital lobe, which is how the eye sees. So they're actually working with the brain, the part of the brain that works with regular sight, in order to produce spiritual sight or intuitive sight, mental, emotional, and energetic sight. They're not actually working with the brow. when it comes to light and energy, you'll get the brow. And good teachers won't say, well, you have to do this to open your third eye, or you have to do that, or you won't become intuitive until you do X, Y, Z, Q, D, E, P, whatever, and for your third eye. And so for me, watching people walk around with these thought forms, I've actually had people impose thought forms of third eyes on me. And, people who thought they were healers, they said, oh, well, I can't see what's going on with your third eye, so I'm just going to do this. And then they will, take a tulpa, which is a thought form of a third eye, and shove it into my head. And then I have to take it out again in order to work. So really, you don't need a tulpa, a thought form, or anything else of a third eye in order to do any intuitive work. Your pineal gland will probably help you with light and energy, but it is not called the third eye because you see through it. And I'm going to read a really interesting esoteric online article posted by Sun Mover that explains how we got this word, the third eye, and what it's been doing to us. And, and it gives us an idea to think, well, should we keep thinking about it as what it is? So Sun Mover says, and this is on esotericonline.net, here in the West, thousands of meditators work diligently to try to open their third eye to reach enlightenment. But far from it being an ancient technique, the third eye was actually the invention of a group of Victorian quote-unquote fraudsters. It's no one's fault that so many myths about meditation, chakras, and the like are propagated as they are. The whole field is codependent web of half-truths and wrong meanings that deceive most people who don't have the opportunity to research the facts, and in my opinion, go to good teachers. The third eye is a perfect example. Yes, it's certainly written about, particularly here in the West, but it doesn't have any history at all, or it has limited history in Buddhism and Hinduism, the traditions that the idea is meant to have been taken from. It's actually a Western invention conceived within the last 100 years. There are, of course, many meditation methods that do focus on the brow chakra, the ajna, and these work very well, but it's never called the third eye in authentic traditions, and it's not a requirement that you must open it before you can reach enlightenment. And if you read a lot, and there are wonderful books now, in the early days, we didn't have in the West wonderful books written by actual lamas because we didn't have the wisdom books and the Shambhala books. This is Elizabeth now talking. We basically had things that were written by Westerners that were co-opting or adopting or presenting things that they were finding out very quickly in the Eastern world. When they went to India, they would, or when they supposedly went to Tibet, they would write these things about their experiences that may or may not have had any validity. And then when you go and you read either books from wisdom about Tibetan Buddhism or from Shambhala or from another source that is more modern, things that were written in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, you will find by and large that you don't find any necessity of a third eye or any mention of it at all. If it is a traditional Tibetan teacher, and very few of the, I don't read the Indian gurus as much as I do Tibetan Mahayana Buddhism, so I can't speak to that. But I can tell you, in the books that I've read through Wisdom and Shambhala, you just don't find it. It's not about opening up a center. It's about right meditation, right thought, right speech, right practice, and the Eightfold Path, which we can get into later. But that's all religious, too. So anyway, in the traditional texts, and I can say this is true for Tibetan Buddhism and for practice, meditation practice, and energy healing, chakras aren't associated with a wealth of character information, sounds, emotions, auras, or hardly anything else that they are in New Age literature, which is now claiming to divulge ancient methods. There are no incenses, emotions, planets, crystals, or metals associated with them. There's no opening them, nor is the third eye found in Aikido or karate, and I can attest to this, having been trained in karate for a long time, as it is often claimed. And although again, the ajna is sometimes used in Zen, it isn't the third eye or the main focus of the practice. In fact, Zen places the vital energy center, the hara, in the abdomen, which is considered to be the seat of the heart, body, mind. There's certainly a lot of symbolism regarding this point on the forehead in the East, though, and none of it relates to a third eye, even though it's there. In Buddhism, the symbolism is. In Buddhism, some statues of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from the 2nd and 3rd centuries wear an urna, or a concave circular dot, sometimes shown as a jewel, which is an auspicious mark made by a whorl of white hair on the forehead between the eyebrows of an enlightened being. Now, if you are a Reiki master, you know that white whorl, or that thing in between the brows, is actually a flame. It's not an eye, it's a flame. And that's something to keep in mind. And I just told you Reiki stuff I wasn't supposed to tell you, but it's not an eye, it's a flame. Think about that. Imagine a flame there and see what happens. So where did the third eye concept first begin? The 18th century philosopher René Descartes, who I hated when I was a kid, by the way, this is Elizabeth again, because he said animals had no soul. Evil man, spent many hours studying the pineal gland, trying to deduce its effects, and he called it the seat of the soul. He called the pineal gland the seat of the soul, a point of connection between the mind and body. And of course, he did believe human beings had a soul, but he didn't think animals did. What a jerk. His reason for believing this was that he saw it as being unique in the human brain, in that it didn't appear to be duplicated in its right and left sides. However, with the aid of modern microscopes, we can see that it is in fact divided into 2 hemispheres. Probably the first person to use the term third eye, and also use it in reference to the pineal gland, was the scientist Niels Holmgren in 1918. Holmgren coined the term after examining the pineal glands of frogs and dogfish and sharks, but not people, and discovered cells on the tip of the gland that looked like retinal cone cells, which is in no way saying that the organ had any kind of spiritual connection as a third eye. It just had cells that looked like retinal cone size. So it had cells that were similar to cells that were found in the eye. Did he know what they did? I don't think he ever really figured it out, but let's go on. However, a few years before Holmgren, the Victorian Theosophical Society had decided that the pineal gland was not just important, as Descartes had thought, but that it was the key to spiritual awakening. All well and good. But for anyone not familiar with Theosophy, it's worth bearing in mind that its co-founder, H.P. Blavatsky, is the source of many of today's popular occult myths, such as ascended masters. Now, some of us may say, no, it's not really a cult, and I'm not sure that's a problem. Astral travel, well, we know that's happening, so the aura, well, yeah, some people see that. 7 planes of reality, I don't know about that one. The evolution of consciousness, that's a cool thing. We like that. The third eye, not really necessary. The Akashic Record, yeah, it's there. Remote viewing, of course. And the silver cord and OOBEs. Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu. You know, some of the things that Theosophists came up with, like Oz, you know, when the Wizard of Oz goes to Oz and he makes Oz a much better place, were really worth doing, right? And some, like the third eye and what people have begun to think about it, not so helpful. Just saying. Not so helpful. The whole host of other things which she claims to have been told by her very own ascended masters via letters that floated down from heaven onto tables around which she held seances. Well, you got to give her this. She was really, really dramatic, and that made people like her and want to come see her, because what are you going to do with that kind of drama? For most of us spirit mediums, you know, we just get information, we see it, we feel it, we hear it, we're clairaudient, we're clairvoyant, we're clairsentient, we tell it to you, and papers don't float down out of the sky. So, you know, think about that for a minute and go, how much of what she was doing was theater and how much of it was real? We don't know, but she had a lot of theater. Sadly for Blavatsky, an overeager aide at one such of her seances opened a secret panel in which the pre-written letters, later to be revealed, were placed, thus giving her game away, and all in the presence of paranormal investigators who were there to scrutinize her dealings. Blavatsky was an opportunistic fraud, when she needed to be, and not a very good one. And she is the first person to really put forward this idea through her ascended, quote-unquote, ascended masters of the third eye. Okay, so keeping that in mind, a little bit more about theosophy. It spread quickly, not just among American and English expatriates in India, but all through a variety of Indian thinkers, and sadly to a variety of charlatans who wanted to get in on the popularity of the Hindu faith and all things Eastern that were accruing in the West, where support for Blavatsky was easy to court, and it was good business sense for theosophical beliefs to be taken on by local teachers. And ancient Hindu knowledge, gained over thousands of years of insight and direct experience, was left behind for much more attractive and lucrative and easier to practice forms of spirituality and meditation, which sadly were invented by Blavatsky, Alcott, and others months before they were put out to be taught to people. So there was a Swami Sivananda who read many of the works, and he thought she was a friend, and he said, "Oh, that's not really real." Blavatsky had some other issues. She had her own sort of racism. She thought that there were root races. She thought that there was evolution over 3 billion years of stages of variously boneless, four-armed, three-eyed, or even one-eyed and third-eye only human beings. She even said that the third eye exists no more for the majority of mankind. The third eye is dead and acts no longer, but has left behind a witness to the existence, and that witness is now the pineal gland. The double-faced become the one-faced, and the eye has drawn deep into the head and then is now buried under the hair. Okay, this does not help people. If you actually make a thought form of an eye and you stick it in your head, if you're like me, you're going to get a freaking headache. So please don't think of an eye in the middle of your head, or a big one, or an open one, or a blinking one, or a multicolored one, because literally if you're going to be intuitive, that thing is going to be stuck in the middle of your head as a thought form, as a tulpa, causing all sorts of havoc, and you don't need it. I'm just saying, it's not necessary. So, that moving on from her, another person in the Theosophy Society was Charles Leadbeater, who is responsible for a great deal of the ideas we have about chakras in the West. And he claimed not only to be able to enter the astral plane, but also to have suddenly one day gained the ability to examine every one of a person's former incarnations in detail without, as he said himself, having any previous experience of doing so before. He also claimed he was an incarnation of the legendary King Ashoka of India, or Ashoka of India, who was responsible for the adoption of Buddhism in India in the 2nd century, but also King Geshtab of Persia, who upheld the mission of the Zoroastrian religion. Now, think about this for a minute. How many people do you know? And granted, some people have had, because, we have a lot of lifetimes as royal people, lifetimes as famous people. And think about the people you know who just say those things off the bat and say them really quickly and then go on about telling you what a great teacher they are. Be very careful, because people who drop a lot of names and drop a lot of names of who they were in the past, they're more interesting in gaining followers than perhaps they are interested in helping you on your evolutionary path. So, name dropping, talking about all the incredibly spiritual people you were in the past, careful with that one. Leadbeater liked to do it a lot, and he came up with a lot of what we hear about the chakra system. Now, I will tell you, I do both axiotonal and Reiki work. I don't talk about chakras in Reiki work because that was not what was taught to me. And in axiotonal work, some people will talk about the chakras. I don't talk about them there because it's spin points. We don't call the spin point chakras, and the spin points are actually much smaller and more precise overall when you're doing the work than the chakra system is, or the main energy system across the body. In Reiki, you cover, quote unquote, where the chakras are in the 14 positions that are taught in initial Reiki. If you are a master who's been working for a long time, you are doing all sorts of other stuff, like our Keith Andrews mentions. I always work on the feet and pull people into their body and pull their spiritual in and down through their body. I always work on other places. But these are things that you learn by practice, not by the idea that you have to do it or you've missed that chakra. And so some of the things that have come to us through the Theosophy Society are a sort of religiosity or religifying, or following the experts, following the protocols without having the actual energy of the experience and without following the force. We stop following the force sometimes when we're given too much information. So, and this was something that I believe that the Theosophists were great about doing, was coming up to Americans and English people and Europeans, having adopted what they said were Indian and Hindu and Tibetan ideas and presenting a bunch of information as if they're experts. If you're really going to practice, just practice. If you're really going to become clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, the main thing you need is somebody there with you to help you in your practice. Because reading a book, reading like The Third Eye by Lobsang Rampa, it may be interesting, but it's not practice. And a good teacher, you'll learn everything you need, both physically, mentally, energetically, and grounded-wise from a teacher who helps you practice and practice and practice and practice. So, and this is something that the meditators of the past, the teachers of the past understood. Practice takes time. Practice can take a lifetime. Getting better and better is an evolutionary path. You get new guides. You open up new energies. You work with new beings. You start new learning processes. You go into a new classroom as you evolve. And none of these things happen by reading books or talking about what Theosophists called things, or having rainbow-colored tulpu or tulpa thought form third eyes in the middle of your head. Those things don't happen by having these things or getting a nice stone. I have a metaphysical shop. Do you need to have a certain stone in order to become enlightened? No. You don't even ever need to come to my shop or buy anything to become enlightened. You know, Buddha did it in a loincloth, and the main thing he needed to remember to do was eat. So that's all you need to do too. Eat, drink, take care of yourself, meditate, practice, practice, practice. All right, so that being said, I'm going to move on to, Krishnamurti. And the reason I'm moving on to Krishnamurti is because he was the Theosophist golden child. And literally, he was a child, and members of the Charles Leadbeater found him in India and told him that he was going to be, there was a prophecy that he was going to be the next world teacher. Now, we still have these people around talking about the world master and the world teacher who are heavily, heavily influenced by Theosophy, who are talking about aliens as friendly space brothers, and we're still waiting for the world teacher and the world master. Well, Krishnamurti was, Jaddu Krishnamurti was supposedly the world teacher. And he was going to fix everything. And so he was given to members of the Theosophist Society to be raised to become this world teacher, because they prophesied that he would. And he became very sick, and he ended up going to California and sitting under a tree and just being present with the tree, and he got better. He saw the light and the web of the light, and he saw the leaves and the wind, and he was in a deeply meditative state of just being connected and being open and being aware without having to be the world teacher or having to learn anything or having to absorb any theosophy. And he got better while sitting under this tree. And then he renounced everything that they were saying was his birthright, that he was going to be the next Messiah, that he was going to be the world teacher. And I can tell you that my path started when I met a teacher who taught me to meditate in the way that Krishnamurti did, which is to be present with, in real time, everything that is around you to the best of your ability. It's not easy to do. But one of the things that you can do, and this is called walking meditation, is to go and take a walk and actively notice everything that is around you without any preconceived notions, without any religiosity, without any judgments. Just actively notice, is it blue, is it yellow, is it green? Is that person smiling? Did they have tennis shoes on? What's the sidewalk made out of? What he learned was that for consciousness to lead us to connection with other beings, and for us to open up as light beings and as conscious, awakened beings, we need to be present with each other without separation. And practicing being present with each other, to really listen to each other, to really look at each other, to be present energetically with each other, to be present with animals and trees and Bigfoots and UFOs, and to overcome our fear of that which is the other, is how we grow, how we become intuitive, how we become spiritually full, how we become filled with light, or how we become whatever it is that we're going to become. And so he renounced his world teacherdom, and he just wrote some very simple books about attaining freedom by letting go of the need to be religious, or letting go of dogma, letting go of needing to be separate. And he has some really neat quotes that apply to most of us who are experiencers. And I'm going to read them to you now just to let you think about them for a second. Because as we go off to experience new things and new beings and new information, we need this kind of mental freedom to kind of be our friend. You know, mental freedom is your friend. It's been my friend. Okay, all right. The first one is, without freedom from the past, there is no freedom at all, because the mind is never new, fresh, or innocent. That's Krishnamurti. So without freedom from the past, there is no freedom at all, because the mind is never new, fresh, or innocent. Really good thing to consider. What are you holding on to? What has your mind spinning about something about the past? And what can you do to help yourself become free of the past? Are you still a victim of someone? Are you still mad with somebody? What are you making solid, significant, and real about the past that is making your mind stagnant, unable to see what's happening now or anything new? That's a really good one. When one loses the deep, intimate relationship with nature, then temples, mosques, and churches become important. So this again, go outside, go look for Bigfoot, go sit under a tree for 2 hours. Because why? Because the deep, intimate relationship with nature is probably the best church you're going to get, is basically what he's saying. If you leave the pool you have dug for yourself and go out into the river of life, then life has an astonishing way of taking care of you, because then there is no taking care on your part. So Think about that for a second. A lot of people who are going through spiritual transformation or are on the path of an experience or who want to do something, and then they go, oh, I can't because I don't live in the right place. Oh, I can't because my mom is sick. Oh, I can't because I have a dropped foot. I mean, oh, I can't because, my middle name is George. Whatever it is. When you leave the pool you have dug for yourself, it's amazing what people will dig for themselves to create a limitation so that they can't do the thing that they're really itching to do on the inside. And when you go out into the river of life, then life has an astonishing way of taking care of you, because then there is no taking care on your part. For those of you who are really informed, this is almost exactly the same thing that is written about in Crazy Wisdom. I'm having a thought fart. Sorry. Crazy Wisdom is a wonderful book. It's written by a Tibetan teacher, and it basically says, if you are afraid to do something, jump in and do it, because the universe will take you to exactly where you need to go after you jump. So if you see that alien ship land, and you have a telepathic connection, and you've been wanting this for a long time. Look, the alien ship landed. I've got a telepathic connection. It's saying, hey, Dave, are you coming? Hey, John. Hey, Eric, are you coming? Do you run in the opposite direction, or do you start walking toward it? Because you've got this feeling it's talking to you. Are you coming? And you're conscious and you're awake. Well, guess what you do? You walk toward it. You're scared, you're fearful, you don't know what the heck is going to happen, but this thing that you've been wanting to happen is happening. You walk toward it, and you don't worry about it, because life has an astonishing way of taking care of you, because you are being fearless. That's basically what he's saying. He doesn't say to be stupid. He says be fearless. And for those of us who are out looking for Bigfoot or trying to make those, or, contacts with aliens, that's what we do. We become fearless. Another nice thing Krishnamurti says is truth is a pathless land. That's for all of us Bigfoot hunters, because you know what? When you're busting through the through the stuff, it really is a pathless land. And basically, the last one I'm going to share, in obedience there is always fear, and fear darkens the mind. I'm not saying that we should all become disobedient, but how many of you have been obedient lately? I know I haven't been obedient. I've been obedient to my tummy when it's hungry, but that's about it. My cat asked me for food. See, here she is asking for food. There's always fear. If I don't feed her, she might eat me. But, that's the darkness of my mind, that this cat may bite me if I don't feed her. But literally, how many of us are being obedient? We're not. We're being rebels. Because why? Because we're on Spaced Out Radio and we're talking about increasing our intuition and ascending and being experiencers. So, Krishnamurti, worth looking into. Now, next week, if you can follow this thread, if you aren't completely confused, Krishnamurti ended up becoming a very good friend of quantum physicist David Bohm, and also of Rupert Sheldrake. Well, at least if they weren't very good friends, they were good friends, and they worked together and they talked about things. Now, the quantum physics of David Bohm is interesting, and it has nothing to do with chakras or third eyes. It has to do with how thoughts make reality, or how reality is not a static situation, how the physical world is not as static as we perceive it to be. So, if I can figure it out, I'll present something on that next Sunday, and about the quantum mechanics of, how does this thought stuff, how does this energy stuff, how does this intuition stuff, what does it have to do with UFOs and aliens and telepathy? I'll try to make a missing link not so missing. Of course, Well, I can't even say I did too many drugs and I'm missing brain cells, so I'll just try. But that's what we're going to talk about next week. A little bit more quantum consciousness. Hey, is my friend James around? Nope, he's on the other side of the room. Let's see. He does this to me all the time. I'm going to go into the Spaced Out Raiders, Space Travelers place and see if anybody asks any questions. So give me a sec here, because it's hard to read and talk. I'm not, I do my best. Da-dum-da-dum. All right. Well, no questions, because you're already enlightened. That's really, really, really cool. That's awesome. I'm so glad. Anybody else got any questions? Now is the time to ask them. It is a good time to ask questions, especially on Spaced Out Radio with Space Travelers. Joe, Robert, Michael, Gail, questions, anybody? Oh, thanks, Amanda. She said I do great. I appreciate that. Robert says, quick, hide the cookies. Yes, because I always obey my tummy, and when I see cookies, my tummy gets happy. All right, that being said, we've talked about tulpas before, and I'm going to explain tulpas a little bit. I'm talking about the third eye as a tulpa. Tulpa is a concept in mysticism of an object or being which is created through spiritual or mental discipline. In the Buddhist texts, it's unreal, illusory, or a mind-created apparition. And the term comes from the Tibetan to build or construct. It's sometimes used synonymously with a magical emanation, a conjured thing, a phantom, or thought form. And some practitioners, modern people, will create their own imaginary friends as tulpas. So in one early Buddhist text, the Samanapala Sutra lists the ability to create a mind-made body, a Manomaya Akaya, as one of the fruits of the contemplative life. Well, I can tell you what, people create tulpas all the time, and sometimes they're kind of like little weird things that you really don't want to see, almost like we're Frankenstein creators when we're not really thinking about it. Commentarial texts such as the Padasambhava and the Visuddhimagga state that the mind-made body is how Gautama Buddha and arhats are able to travel into heavenly realms using the continuum of the mind stream bodhi. Well, I don't know about that, because most of us can do that. It's just a matter of knowing what to do. But tulpa is often something that somebody creates that is a thought form. And the third eye can definitely be created as a thought form. Any of the chakras can be created as thought forms. You can make them very, very significant and real. You can create through your thoughts your own blocks and limitations and inabilities by concentrating on them as being very solid, significant, and real. Now, sometimes people do that because it's sometimes more comfortable to stay where you are than move forward, or you're just not aware that you're doing it. Alexandra David Neal was somebody who talked about tulpas. She had created one herself through the magic of thought, and she made kind of a Friar Tuck-like monk, and he was kind of meant to help her, and she was out in Tibet, and she actually was in Tibet, and later her Friar Tuck kind of became his own thing, and he became negative. He became a negative astral entity, and so he started to presence for her a lot of the fears that she had, a lot of the anxieties that she had, and in some way that can be helpful when something is presencing for you, the things that you fear and the things that you have anxiety about. But on the other way, it's just, it can get you into trouble when there are other things going on. So be careful what you create for yourself, I guess is what I'm saying, is that people who don't, they say you've got to be an arhat or you've got to be really enlightened in order to create a tulpa. That's not been my experience. I'll see things that people have created around them. And sometimes it's willfully done and sometimes it's not so willfully done. So think about your thoughts in terms of how solid, significant, and real you're making any thought. Or if you're having a paranoia or you're afraid of something happening, are you making it bigger by thinking about it and giving it energy? And sometimes that does happen, where you think about it, you give it energy, it becomes bigger, it becomes its own living thing, and it can be as if you give birth to it, that after you have given it enough energy, enough of your mental time and your mental space, it goes out into the universe and does its own thing. So, Joe has a good question, which is, could some sightings of Bigfoot simply be tulpas? Well, yeah, I wonder about that too, Joe. I don't have an answer for that. Because if you think about Bigfoot a lot, and you have, you're really wanting to have this relationship with the Bigfoot, it could be a tulpa. I don't think that's the case, though, because I thought about that for aliens, because that was the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about talking tonight was, could aliens who abduct people be tulpas? And I have to say no, that aliens who abduct people, at least the ones that I have seen that are working in a kind of hive-like society, there are just too many of them and it's too complicated and it's like a whole other system of society and culture and language and interest, and so that's not going to be tulpa. And if you look at Bigfoot also seems to have its own society, family, language, culture, things that it presents, things that it does. So it's a little more complicated, because if you see one Bigfoot, you most of the time, you may be seeing a family member too, or you may be seeing something it's done. Has it left you a gift? Has it left you rocks? Has it left you braids in your horse's mane? Are you collecting sounds of Bigfoot? I think there's something with a little bit more reality than tulpa, but yeah, those would be the first things I would think of. I'd question, did I just create a Bigfoot tulpa? I never had an urge to do so as a child, so no. Joe, I think we're going to say no. Elizabeth, could a person be attacked by a tulpa? Yes. And and that's just a nasty astral being. It's like an astral attack, and if you start feeling like you're frustrated, angered, annoyed, getting tripped up, being made to be spacey. I had a friend who was attacked by a tulpa from Lincoln County, from the grave of Billy the Kid. And he's a sensitive, he's a medium, he didn't know it. But he went to the grave of Billy the Kid, and he got a really bad feeling. And then he drove off, and he drove a few hours away, and he went to go ride his mountain bike. And he still had this really, he felt like this shadow and cold thing had come with him. And he's riding his mountain bike and everything, and he puts it out of his head, and he says, I just didn't like that gravesite. Well, he ends up having this massive wreck. Because he gets distracted by whatever it is that's come with him from the grave of Billy the Kid. And it's not the spirit of Billy the Kid, it's just a thought form that has to do with menace and malice and killing. And basically, he goes flipping head over heels down a hill. He doesn't die, but he ends up ripping his shoulder out in the process and busting his back up. So that is, yes, we will say yes, tulpas can attack people. Vivian, I've been waiting for years to astral travel. every time I hear an extremely loud noise, it brings me out of it. Hey, I know that I astral travel, but I have asked to do it unconsciously because of the same exact thing, Vivian. What would happen with me? It would be like a freight train was coming through. And I had a bad experience the first time I consciously did it. I got stuck in the ceiling after the freight train came through. But, this giant, extremely loud rushing noise, like something's going to run you over, popped out of my body, floated around blissfully for a very short period of time, and then felt like something was trying to get into my body and I couldn't get back into it. Now, this is a beginner problem that a lot of people have when they do conscious astral travel. Now what I do is I keep a journal by my bed, and when I wake up in the morning, I write down things that I remember, if I remember astral traveling. For me, there's so much going on in my life on the daily basis that I don't always do this anymore, but I did it for a while. So, I mean, for me, some people will say, oh, you really have to be able to astral travel and be conscious. I don't know if it's that important. If you're getting work done, like the fringe dwellers do, Monica Holy is an astral traveler who does work. If you're getting work done in the astral and you're aware of it, or your guides are telling you about it, or people are telling you about it, then do you really need to be conscious of it? If you want to be, I guess, then yes, that's a block you need to get over. But the freight train, yeah. I don't get along with the freight train either, so I just allow myself to go to sleep and then I get out. Could a tulpa be what a poltergeist is? Let me go up a level, James Tyson, and ask that question. Ooh, yes. Well, and also there is a thing that can happen with children who feel threatened, where negative entities or entities that don't have a physicality will present themselves to children and say, I'll protect you. If you let me be in your space and sometimes be in your body, not in that way, James, and sometimes be, around you and maybe take over or be around you, be your protector, I'll do that thing. And so they could have started out as tulpas. They seem to be astral entities that in some way have a relationship with children who feel threatened or teenagers who feel threatened. And what they do, since the children don't feel or the teenagers don't feel that they can express themselves and say, hey, cut it out, that's not right, whenever this child or teenager feels threatened, these astral entities, which could have started off as somebody else's tulpas or another tulpa, will go about throwing things around. So, they're thought forms, and tulpas are thought forms, and negative astral entities in some way are thought forms for the most part. They may have been around for a long time, and they may have really become solid, significant, and real thought forms. So I'd say, yeah, if they're not exactly that, they are first cousins or brother and sister to poltergeist, or brother and sisters to tulpas or first cousins. All right. Well, it's 10:53. I haven't heard from James. I don't know if he can come back on. Yeah, I accept.
Hi.
Oh. Can I hear you now?
Fumbling away inside of that mire they call Facebook. Holy cow! I couldn't. It took me a long time just to get a someplace I could type the question in there about the poltergeist. Holy cow! I typed it all
Facebook
in, and
has really been
stuck.
It's been
stuck is a
sticking
good
for
word.
a lot of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're not alone. You're not alone in Facebook being stuck. So what's coming up? I'm going to go and be tulpa myself.
Why I oughta.
In about, I know. But we got Skeeter and Paisley, right?
Yep. Yeah. And just for those who tune in to listen to Joanna, she's going to be on about once a month for a call-in for readings, and we're going to have other people. We're going to have Skeeter, and we're going to get some other people in here from the West Coast, down as far as Southern California, to come in, do some readings. Joanna will be back maybe another time during the month, not to do readings, but to answer some questions on the paranormal and the cryptozoological and aliens, like she did in her 3-hour show, which brought up a lot more questions to put to her and her guide afterwards. I was curious about that poltergeist, because poltergeist is always, as a paranormal investigator, we believe those are man-made, or those are constructed by the energies someone puts out. And
that's
it's a
what
being
it looks
that's
like.
created.
But sometimes, that's what it looks like. I looked at it, and it looks like sometimes they get untethered from who initially created them.
Yes.
And they'll find another host and go make havoc or do their thing with that other host. So they flit, they float, they fly, but they move things around but they present themselves as being helpful.
Oh, the
I'll
tulpa?
protect you.
The tulpa?
The poltergeist.
Poltergeist?
Yeah, in the subconscious of the child who's afraid, they do tend to get agreement from the child that they can be in their space. And usually it'll be when they're sleeping or when they're in an astral state. They'll say, hey, I can, I'm big and strong and I can protect you. And then they end up becoming an attachment of the child that is not feeling like they can express boundaries.
Yeah, the ones we run into in paranormal investigations are usually the ones that are very, very negative and very angry and throw things all over the place. Pick up shoes and throw them against the wall. And it's not like moving a spirit on, because they've never been real.
They've never been in a body.
Yeah.
They've never had an ethic beyond that repressed expression of, hey, you're crossing my boundaries, you're making me feel angry, you're making me feel scared, you're making me feel like I need to fight. So there's a lot of fight in them.
Alrighty. Well, thanks very much for coming back again.
Well, it is a weekend. If you're looking for me, I'm Elizabeth Anglin at elizabethanglin.com. I hope you're looking for good reasons. You can get my email there, info@elizabethanglin.com. I am going to listen to Skeeter and Paisley and James, and you guys can call in. What's the number?
The number is 1-575-694-6634. Again, 575-694-6634. I just heard you say 5.
7, 5, 6. I'm just thinking, God, there's a lot of 6s in there. What is this? Is this the evil Paisley show? But there's no evil Paisley.
No, those 6s are good. Depends.
Those are good
it's
6s.
An angel code. Yeah.
The 60s. It's the kind of loving and gentling and wonderfuls.
Of course.
Code. Yeah.
It's not
exactly
like my kids birthmarked the 3 9s on our head, but this is the. Again, our number is 575-694-6634. Or if you're one of our friends who's down on a beautiful 27-degree spring day down in the land of the people who are under the Southern Cross, you can give me a call on Skype. That's James_Tyson32. Again, James_Tyson32. And you don't want to put the country code in for that long, monstrous... Oh, I almost spilt my tea again. Actually, I did. Oh, for crying out sakes. Anyway, I'm going to play the commercial. Then I'm going to turn off my microphone and swear.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Elizabeth.
All right, we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Hi there. This is your psychic medium, Joanna, and I would love it if you would join us every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. With host James Tyson, we'll bring you personal psychic messages on two mediums and a large. Questions about love, life, career changes. We would love it if you would come and join us live. Call in and listen in for the experience. Allow us to open the doors to your other side. Two mediums and a large, heard only on Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for news beyond the mainstream news? Head to spacedoutradio.com and check out the SOR Spacewire. This is Spaced Out Radio's Eric Markham, News Director for the SOR Spacewire. Daily, I will bring you intriguing stories and outlandish reports from what's going on around the world. UFO sightings, paranormal activity, conspiracies, alternative health, and so much more. And if you have news, email me at news@spacedoutradio.com.
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners. For only $5 a month, you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
It's time to go live on Spaced Out Weekend.
13, please. Oh, hi, Kevin. Oh, is that the time? Kevin, my friend, don't you find that watch just a little bit loud? Well, I certainly hope our buddy Bumblefoot is playing when we get there. Oh, you stinky big bundle of hair. I said Bumblefoot, not Bigfoot. Oh, it's going to be a long night.
It's time to head to the 13th floor of the old log cabin for Spaced Out Weekend with James Tyson. You can tweet James at James Tyson SOR. You can find him on Instagram, Spaced Out Weekend, as well as on Facebook. On YouTube, our channel is Spaced Out Radio Show, and you can check out our website, spacedoutradio.com.
Little brother has taken control, shoveling dirt in every hole. Predators to condemn your soul, watching you and watching me. We're all connected but separated, misunderstood and so frustrated. A million armies of one have invaded, watching you and watching me. We live behind glass curtains and act like nothing's wrong. Soon you will belong. I know you're out there somewhere. We've watched you for so long. Wait for you to fall. We'll expose you all. I know you're out there somewhere. Watch it there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And now, perched high in his captain's chair, way above the clouds, here's James Tyson.
Welcome back, everybody. It is I, James Tyson, just like Dave said, because, face it, he's not lying. And I am broadcasting to you from the 13th floor of the Spaced Out Radio Network in my little log cabin here in the paranormal portals of the lower left Canadian coast, broadcasting right across North America, over to Europe, down into the dark continent, across Eurasia, and to our friends under the Southern Cross, down under. See how I said that with under? So we got a lot of people from Oz tuning in now, and I really appreciate it. And I like the interaction with you fellows and ladies in the chat rooms. And I could just dream about it being warm and spring-like here in this drizzly rainforest I live in Cascadia. And tonight with us we have two mediums and a large. And I will more or less be the large. We have Paisley Town, who is a numerologist and many other things. She is my teacher on how to read cards 101. Sort of. Actually, it's not really the card reading part, is it, Paisley? It's more on the technical side behind it, on how to ask questions and how to listen to questions and become more comfortable in my readings. And I appreciate that, because being comfortable in reading is what I'm not, as those people would can attest when I was doing readings on air here a couple of weeks ago. And we're back with Skeeter Welhouse. Now, Skeeter was on last night. She is a psychic medium. She is a member of the Forest Moon Paranormal Group out of Washington State. She did a reading for me. I did a reading for her. We got along well, and she came out with me on a paranormal investigation along with Dave Scott and some others, and was invaluable because the audio crashed on the recorder. I shouldn't say crashed. It was one of those weird little things that happen sometimes on a paranormal investigation. Unfortunately, this one was a little awkward because the other people on the investigation got tired and went home, because we started a little after, about 20 after 2 in the morning. And after a couple of beer earlier that night, they dragged their carcasses home. So we only had the one recorder, which is not a way to do a paranormal investigation. You want to throw as many recorders around a room as possible. And exactly what happened to my recorder, who knows? But I've had incidents in the past where an entire session or half a session just fades away and goes dead, and somebody else picks it up, or I get a voice on EVP and no one else does, or we hear the EVP with our ears and nothing is on the audio, or vice versa. So these things do happen. Or batteries drain right down to nothing. That's kind of odd. But this time the battery was good, the lights were going, everything was chugging along on the old Zoom recorder, and the SD card was blank, not a zip. I even went into the hard drive on this thing and tried to find, maybe there was a file dumped in there, but nothing. Absolutely nothing. So anyway, that's when I met Skeeter. And she talks to dead people, and she will tonight be able to talk to somebody in your past. And heck, we've got this whole alien thing, Skeeter. Let's see how that works. And Paisley,
yes,
you did numerology with me yesterday, and I gave her the date. The numbers 2016 of 2016, and what else did I give you? Oh, 58 and 1108. So November 8th, 58 and 2016. So the presidential election in the U.S. on the 8th of November, and the 58th presidential election in the U.S. And we got all sorts of interesting things from that. I shouldn't say a whole bunch of interesting things. We got a kind of a yin and a yang of the two of the numbers. The date itself was one thing, and the 58 was another thing. So it was hierarchy too, wasn't it? There was a bit of hierarchy in there, and
there was.
Yeah, I can't remember what the other one, the 58, was. But anyway, it was pretty
when
good.
I was doing that reading for you, I didn't know what I was reading. You didn't tell me if it was someone's birthday or what the information was before we did that. But I didn't know the numbers were a date.
Yeah. So I was kind of wondering if you would just give, because I'm always afraid to influence somebody by giving them too much. And I think you'd appreciate me holding back on stuff like that. So if you did get something that was completely sideways, and then I told you what I was thinking, then it may be a little more impactful than it was.
Right.
I'm just going to fire off the phone number again. We've got one caller on Ignore here right now, and she'll be on in a second. But if anyone wants to call in, here is the number again. It's 575-694-6634. Again, 575-694-6634. And if you are on Facebook right now in our chat room, feel free to type that in. I'll read it to you again. It's 575-694-6634, because I can't get into Facebook right now. It's just a pain in the butt. It's so slow on my system here. And if you are out of the North American continent and have Skype and want to get a hold of me, please give us a shout at James_Tyson32. That's my Skype address, is James_Tyson32. How's everybody else going? We've got Paisley. She's all raring to go. She's got a pocket full of cards and a whole bunch of probably glitter and angel dust and things.
I'm doing good, James. And it'll be nice if we had some new callers tonight too.
Yeah, we're gonna drag some of them in, kicking and spitting, kicking and screaming. If not, I'll just start phoning people on my phone list here.
That'll work.
That works.
I'm just going through my phone. Oh, look, this person needs a reading. Skeeter, you ready?
Yep.
You open, raring to go? Okay.
Ready.
Okay, Amanda.
Sorry, it's not one of your irregular callers. And just for the record, I was not going to call tonight. I was not going to call for a while. But, Skeeter, this one's actually going to be for you. Yeah, I wasn't going to call for a while. I was going to be a good girl. I was in meditation early. No, something kind of maybe possibly huge happened. I was in meditation earlier, and I was what I perceived as given some messages. I'm wondering if you can pick up on who was sending that to me.
Okay, that's interesting, because as you were telling me that, a male energy came up. He said, and I don't mean to be rude, he's being rude. She wasn't paying that much attention to begin with. So I'm asking him to spread the cards for me. As the messages actually had a lot to do with things that are coming your way, and how to, your training that's coming as you're being brought forward a little bit more. Is that about right?
Yeah, I've been doing some energy healing, and in meditation most of the time I'm just dealing with my own stuff, but a couple of things have popped up, such as tonight, where it feels like there's a message coming for me, or I'm being shown something. Some energy healing. Pardon me? Dealing with my own stuff.
Oh, hold on a second. Hey, Katrina, could you turn down the show?
Actually, I dropped my webcam, and I'm like in the middle of a bunch of wires.
Want me to call you back?
No. I just gotta find. I've got too many windows open. There.
Perfect. Okay, carry on, Skeeter and Amanda.
Please don't call me Katrina live.
Okay.
Thank you.
The first message that was trying to come through, the card I got is called Snake Bite. And
sorry, can you repeat that, Skeeter?
Yeah, you're really
low. Can you hear me better?
That's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. The first message that they were trying to get through to you was they were trying to illuminate you on some truths that are coming through. From what I can tell, let's see here. Some things are getting ready to shift, and you've been a little resistant to the shift because it's going to bump you out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. Go with it. Your comfort zone is not where you're going to be growing. You got to get out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And as you proceed out of that comfort zone, this card is actually really cool. It shows the spirit, the soul, rising through the crown chakra. And that's what you've been trying to connect with, is that crown chakra, opening up to the messages coming in.
Yeah.
Playing it safe is preventing you from really opening that up. You've got to really start flexing those muscles. Don't be so bold as to invite anything in.
Yeah.
But be selective about who you invite in. Test yourself with people that you love who have crossed, and ask them to help you open up this crown chakra. The biggest reason you're being opened up is because you are a natural healer. Do your hands get hot when you meditate or tingle?
No, if anything, I actually get very, very tingly in my head when I meditate.
Okay, that's the
my hands don't get warm, but I get very tingly. I know my solar plexus is what I'm working on the most right now because that's all my fear-based stuff of inviting things in that I don't want invited in. So I'm still learning to ground myself in protection. It's a lot of stuff you have to learn, and it's so confusing. But tonight something very particular came, and I had a feeling who it was showing me stuff, but I just wanted to see if you picked up on it, because when you're new to this stuff, you question everything that goes on.
Well, there's a gentleman with me right now who says he was the one that was helping you, and it's actually someone that he's telling me he's not family, but he's a lot closer to you than family was.
Does he have a name?
He's not sharing the name with me right now.
Oh, bugger. So it was a man that was trying to show me certain visions?
He was trying to help guide you into getting past the crown chakra, the lesson that I mentioned a minute ago about learning how to invite certain people in without letting everyone in. And it sounds like that is a huge fear of yours.
Yeah, it is. I had a spirit guide that finally came to me. She's disappeared for a few days. Sweet as pie, but doesn't like answering my questions. Just likes to fill me with a ton of love, nonstop love. She chatters my ear off when she finally comes to. Out of nowhere, I'll be walking down the street, and it's just all these sweet things. But she's legit, and I know she feels very angelic, but she's disappeared on me since a couple of days before Halloween and hasn't popped back. Of course, I was calling for her as I'm meditating, asking her, am I seeing the right things? Am I getting the right feeling from this? But nothing.
Now, Skeeter, or even Paisley, do you believe that female entity that Amanda believes is a spirit guide is a guide?
The gentleman with me says she is.
Good.
But he says he is, too, that he's a new one coming in.
So, okay.
Ask him if his name is Simon. Ask him if his name is Simon. Let's just see what happens there.
He says Simon says.
Sorry. He's a little trickster, and I'm really not sure about that one. I'm really not sure, but that name came to me once, and I went, I don't know. I got a feeling I can't really try. He's like a little bit of a prankster, sarcastic.
Yeah, he's sarcastic. He's a bit of a smart aleck.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a couple of my spirit guides, who I have to put in timeout now and again.
Yeah, that's what I did. I'm like, I'm not talking to you.
Skeeter, a spirit guide that you would have to put in timeout for being a jackass, or jackasses,
yes,
in some cases. Would those not be humans that have crossed over? Because there should be no judgment when they come back, and judgment is a part of the playfulness and the joking around or being sarcastic. There has to be judgment in that.
Well, one of the things that I've discovered, I have one spirit guide who I trust 100%. His name is Bill. And Bill is very honest, very straightforward, very loving. And I have another spirit guide. He hasn't given me a name. I have names for him that are inappropriate to repeat. But what he does is he reminds me to be on my toes, to be aware. And I don't think he's human. I think he's something else. He's not negative or demonic or anything like that. He's just more of a Loki energy, just that kind of, hey, I want to keep you on your toes. I want to make sure that you're paying attention. He normally pops up during times of turbulence or just before a period of turbulence, and I'm learning that when he shows himself, I need to be more aware. He's kind of like my flashing yellow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then that's the same sense you get about Mr. Simon.
I'd say Simon's one that comes up when you need to start paying heavy attention to the world around you.
Kind of the kicker in the ass, kind of?
Yeah, and he just agreed with me. He's like, yeah, that's kind of what I am. And he likes the idea of being a Loki energy.
So tell him to be a little bit nicer to me. Maybe I'll pay attention. I had one guy come through named Mark, and then all of a sudden randomly goes, I'm gone. And I went, yeah, Mark, see ya. You're out. If you can say that crap to me, you're gone. Like my guide, Cassandra, she's just like a mom. Everything about her is so angelic. She's just the sweetest, kindest, patient thing. I trust her 100%. No, I've tested her. She's not misled me. I tried to test Simon, and he misled me. That's why I was like, you're gone. So maybe I'll have to pay a little bit more attention.
Cool.
Yeah, don't think of Simon as someone to hold your hand and walk you through the hard times. Think of Simon as a flashing light that you need to be aware something is up.
Okay.
Sweet.
And that's a really good time to pull on your other spirit guide and go, you know what, I got it. I got the sign from Simon, something's up. I need your help now to guide me through this. I'm aware, I am open to receiving this lesson.
Huh.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks,
very
guys.
cool.
Have a great night. I'm going to go listen in.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
And we have another caller coming in who, oh my gosh, I've got a feeling about this person. What am I feeling? I'm feeling this person was born in December. Who's this? I'm not supposed to say your name out loud. What do I do?
Oh, okay.
Born December.
I didn't know you were aiming at me because I see that, other people waiting.
Yeah, I'm thinking, okay, this
is Spear Carrier.
Oh, it's Spear. You were born on the attack of Pearl Harbor.
Yes, at 2 a.m, which is the hour that the Japanese left their arbor to come this way.
Oh, bless her.
Yes, It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty, go for Paisley. Or actually, have you had a numerology reading from Paisley?
It was a night that there was a lot of interference, and the most she was able to tell me was everything's fine, and then she had to go. And I learned some things today about the hybrid program that has me really concerned.
Okay.
I'm really worried now.
When you say you learned something today about the hybrid program,
yeah.
What was your source of learning?
Oh, I've been looking into Dr. Jacobs' research.
Okay. So it wasn't... You were talking to a guy on a bus who said,
all right.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen her since she turned 15. And I'm going to understand that a lot of people don't really get to see their child grow up the way I got to do. Of course, admittedly, I was kidnapping her frequently. So I just would like to know more about her situation and hope to God she's not been flushed. I don't know if you remember, but I have a hybrid daughter that I had named Jennifer. And, yeah, I don't know what all y'all need to know. I'm not very good at this. This is why I didn't want to call.
Okay. All right.
And I'm sorry to bring it back up again. I don't want to be a dead horse. It's just, you know, everything was left hanging in the air last time.
Oh, we'll dig back into this one. Paisley, do you have anything coming through?
I don't do any mediumship, so maybe Skeeter would have some more information.
Well, yeah, and you can't really get her keys through the computer to hold. Skeeter?
Yeah? You want me to...
Yeah, could you kind of connect and see what you can get? And, Spear, you want to go a little bit slower, take a breath?
Sorry.
Just relax and kind of tell Skeeter a little bit of the background.
In a galaxy far, far away, my bedroom, okay, I was paired up with a succubus. And we produced a child. I actually got to carry her almost to term. And, yeah, it's kind of weird, you know, like you feel like you're pregnant, but you're a virgin and your belly gets fat and your mother keeps asking you, it's messed up time. And so right around the 4th or 5th month, I had a dream that she was taken from me. And from then on, it was a long series of years in which I would go to the nursery room and pick up my child and take off and try to kidnap my child back because she's mine. Well, through this, I got to pretty much watch her grow up. I mean, after she hit about our idea of a 5-year mark, that calmed down, and then I would just get to see her a lot, and we'd do things together a lot. But when she turned an adult, I never saw her again. Like, she hit her menarche, and that was it. Boom, it was over. And I've always wondered how she's doing. And then you hear good things about the hybridization program. You hear bad things. It really just depends on what faction you're learning from, I guess. And I actually am worried because it's kind of odd that I can't even, feel her out there. So I got really worried today, and that's why I'm here. And I don't care, if you guys can't look into it, I understand. It's just really, really awesome that you guys actually take this effort for people like this. So, I'm good either way.
No, that's cool. I'm really fascinated by it, and I'm going to tell you that while you were talking, I already heard a voice saying, "She's mine."
Ugh.
I can't get the voice to elaborate, so I'm going to see if I can provoke some kind of door with the cards real quick.
Okay, good luck.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about the hybrid thing. I do know a little bit about succubuses and whatnot. It's really interesting because the first card that came up showed that this child is kind of along the lines of a nymph. That she's actually part of It's actually part of the elemental realm. So I'm not exactly sure how to interpret that. I'm hoping that makes sense to you.
No, but usually when you mull over stuff, sometimes you get an aha later.
That works. But as far as being able to communicate with her, the card I just got shows that while you can't reach out to her, she can reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would try to find a way to make an invitation for her specifically to reach you.
Yeah, I've been trying for the past year.
What have you been using for your invitation?
Just your usual method, astral travel, reaching out, things that always worked before.
If she's on the elemental level, one of the things I used to do to contact elemental spirits is I would sit in front of a flame, and I would focus in on the flame, and I would do the astral travel into the flame. And it used to freak my little brother out. That's why I did it the most. But the flame will shoot up high if he's made a connection.
Okay.
And if she's an elemental now, I would recommend trying to contact her that way.
Okay. Okay, I'll give that one a shot.
And you can do this with the other elements. You can sit with I used to sit with a brandy glass of water and focus on the water, or I'd sit at a stream and I'd focus into the stream. With wind, I just focused on the air around me. And with the earth, I'd actually sit on the ground and put my fingers into the dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you live near a forest, a wooded area?
I live by a national forest.
Oh, that'll do it. When you're walking in the forest, kind of on the edge, not right on a path or something, keep in mind for circles where there are a circle of circular patterns on the ground, flowers, rocks, leaves.
Yeah, we get mushroom circles out here a lot.
Yeah, a lot of times mushroom circles are actually created by just the way one mushroom was touched. But look for things that may not naturally have been grown that way in a complete circle. But like I say, leaves, flowers, rocks, look for those. Also, if you're walking on a path and there's you're going between two trees, like two trees, two rocks.
Gateways, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and you'll feel it. And when you find one of these, do sit down, ground yourself, and communicate in there.
Okay.
Because an elemental, that's basically a doorway to the other side. Doorways to the elemental realm are circular patterns, or what almost is like a gateway. And if you've had a negative experience when you get into there, you've got to really back out and come in with a pure, like, forgiveness and a pure, like the heart of a child, and you'll cut through all the crap. And that is another way to have contact with them.
Okay, is it okay to ask 2 follow-up addendum questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, the voice that decided it was going to cut in, was it male or female?
Male.
Male. I know who that was. Okay, and soap opera off the air. And I forgot what the other one that made me so mad. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Well, there's one last message from the third card I pulled. It's a female voice, and she says she'll meet you in the dream time.
Yeah, that's usually where we would hang out. Maybe that's her. So if she's an elemental, does this mean she's lost her physical form?
The answer I just got is yes and no.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay, but if she's okay...
this is all new to me, so...
Well, if she's okay, then I feel better, because, I mean, you know, I've lost all of them, and she was my last one, so... Yeah. It's, you know, you worry about them. You know how it is. You worry about them.
So how many have you had?
I've had, as far as I know, her, but then there's the 2 children from a human father that don't talk to me, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, you worry about them.
Yeah.
And yeah. With her, because I had fought so hard just to keep her, I mean, you know, I don't know, if you ever look into it, you hear about it, how people, they get to see them up until they're like so old, and then they, you know, it's so sad.
Yeah.
So, you know, I fought hard for what I got. Dang it, I'm proud of it. But anyway,
well, it's really interesting because you don't get that a lot.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's a long story. I don't want to keep the air. If there's someone with a more important question, I thank you for your time.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Spirit carrier.
Spirit carrier. Yeah. Person whose name we shall not speak. Yeah.
My kids don't.
Thank you so much, hon.
No, thank y'all. You guys are wonderful to do this like this. I mean, you guys, you know, I owe you one. Okay, I'm hanging up now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, Skeeter, when you're talking, I don't know what it was, but right at the end of the conversation, you were coming in loud and clear, but every so often you get back way over here, and we can't hear you that well. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you on a microphone or using a phone?
I'm using a phone.
Oh, okay.
But I'm setting it up so that it's going to be right in front of me from now on.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah, you're coming in loud and clear now. We have another fella who has never, ever called in before. Christopher? Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah?
I was on mute, sorry.
Oh, mute away.
Okay.
We've got 2 behind you. So, go, young man. We're loading them up now.
Oh, okay, I can ask a question then to Skeeter?
Yeah, but always say hi to Paisley.
Oh, I'm Paisley.
Hi, Christopher. How's it going?
All right. Nice to talk to you, Paisley.
You too.
My question is, I've been having dreams about being somewhere else this weekend.
Oh, this weekend?
Okay.
Yeah, I was at a McDonald's in a place near Paris, France, and these ladies offered to help me read the menu, and they appeared to be trained people. And what's weird is one of them looked like they were from the embassy over there for hours, and they asked my ID, and I showed them. They said they can talk to me, and we went to have lunch, and they were talking about France. And what's weird is I was told specifically where I was at. It's in Versailles.
Would it be okay?
What?
So, were you actually in this location, or were you dreaming that you were in this location?
I was dreaming, but it was like it was an astral trip. It was so real feeling.
Okay. And what happened after they approved you to be spoken to?
We had our meal, and it was lunch, and they were telling me in French and English both about becoming I don't want to know what the word is, become adjusted to another culture's norms, like assimilated. That the right word for it?
Yeah, assimilated.
Yes, like if you move to Canada, you learn about their culture
and maple syrup and bacon. Yeah.
Yeah. About like that.
Would you mind if I asked Paisley her opinion on this as well?
No problem at all. She's awesome.
So, Skeeter, mainly the type of readings that I do would be numerology readings based on someone's name or their birthday. So I haven't done any sessions regarding like dream interpretation or anything like this. So Chris has had about
then I'll
10
keep
readings
it to myself.
from me. Yeah, sure, that's great.
Chris, when you're talking about assimilation, you talking about assimilation, in your opinion, because of this dream, were you assimilating into the French culture, or were you assimilating with these people that were talking to you and their culture?
These people, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the French culture. I can already tell that much. What I'm getting is that it was a lucid dream. And a lucid dream is along the same lines as astral travel, except for you do it while dreaming.
I communicate a lot during my dream time for some reason.
It's an easy place to get hooked up with others. It seems to be the chat room for all cultures on our world and others. Have you been purposely looking to connect with anybody out of curiosity?
Yes. I've
and go on.
As I've got that from dreams as well, my lucid experiences. I've started to look into my extended bloodlines over there.
Okay. So you've been inviting things in to contact you then?
Yes, I now think I have. But it seems like for some reason, I only invite people that are good entities. I have not had any problem with anyone bad.
No, it's not anything bad. It's just, even if it's good energies, you still have to be selective.
Yes.
One of the reasons you were offered the assimilation was to help start giving you a little bit more direction as to who you're inviting and how you're inviting them in.
Okay.
The two women you met were actually guides. They're not your full-time guides, but they're the ones who were sent to start letting you know that we're going to start getting you on that path. One of the things that I'm being told to let you know is that you need to start practicing opening up your basically chakras. And the one that you need to work on most is your throat chakra, your voice. Learning how to ask the questions now. Learning how to ask for guidance and the kind of guidance that you want.
Okay.
Instead of just telling the universe, I'm ready, throw me at this, be a little bit more specific to what it is that you think you are actually ready for. This way your guides will be much more ready and able to figure out what to do next to help you, because you can't be helped until you know what you're ready to be helped with. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. That was part of it, too. I was offered help in reading a menu.
Because you'd never know what to order at McDonald's, would you? Because you've never been there before.
In a different language.
Oh, come on. Haven't you seen Pulp Fiction? Hamburger avec fromage.
I've seen it long ago, but I don't remember hardly of it.
Good. It was very violent, and you're such a young soul. So, what do you think, Skeeter? These are a couple of Christopher's guides that have kind of come through and said, kind of prepping him for something that's coming?
I think they're prepping him for his first real guide, that these were kind of like the scouts.
Oh.
And he's going to start getting some real guides soon.
Well, I thought, this is kind of odd because, and this is just my thinking, I thought we had guides basically right from when we were kids.
We do, but one of the things that I've learned the hard way from my own experience and from several other individuals, sometimes your guides like to test you out first, kind of like a
test drive?
To make sure that you're actually ready. Yeah, nice test drive, you know.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you corner well. So it's kind of like he got an interview, and they're like, yeah, he's serious now. Let's go ahead and go to the next level.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. This is an awesome reading.
Yeah.
So I'm glad James asked that question so I could clarify that a little bit more. It's like, okay, let's have our interview. Let's talk. Let's make sure. And, okay, let's go. Let's go to the next level.
Wow.
So be prepared to start actually hearing from your specific guides coming in really soon.
Yes.
That's going to be cool.
I'm going to need to move. I have an idea of what I want to pursue path-wise and stuff. I would like to learn how to ask it more specifically. I don't know how to do it. I'm like shy.
That's probably why they're telling you to work on your voice chakra, to learn how to speak up for yourself and learning how to voice your concerns and what you need and things like that, is to get you out of that.
Yeah, I feel like all my experiences have been very helpful to me. I'm very thankful.
It's very cool.
Well, they love the fact that you're thankful. So start speaking up a little bit more.
I will. I just
yeah.
I'll get better at this stuff. I'm trying.
You have been getting better, actually, since the first time we met, Christopher. You're getting more active. You're involved, and you're putting your opinion out there where you didn't before.
Oh, I'm starting to have a sense of humor now, as you know from the last time I spoke to you.
Yeah, yeah. All righty. Okay, Chris.
Have a blessed night.
You too, man.
Bye.
Good night, Christopher.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Paisley.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you all.
We've got two callers in waiting here, and we're coming up to the end of this hour. So we're going to go to the 402 number. Hi, who is this?
Hi, James. It's Sharon.
Yeah? How are you?
Hi. I'm okay. How are you?
Hello.
Good.
Hi, guys. Hi, Paisley. Hi, Skeeter. I was hoping for mediumship readings, please.
Okay. Do you have a question for her, or?
No, not really. I just wanted to see, advice from heaven, from any family or that could come through.
Okay.
He says she's been asking for him to talk for quite a while now.
Yep.
And I guess it's I wouldn't say a recent death, but it's still fresh in your mind.
Oh. Do Yeah, my son. It's always fresh.
He says he wants to tread gently with you. So please know that I'm going to work very hard to pick the most gentle words I possibly can. One of the things that he wants me to tell you first and foremost is that he is really proud of you for getting up every day and persisting with your life. He says he knows that's been the hardest part for you, and the fact that you've done it, he is insanely proud of you. He loves the fact that you're still going forward. He wants you to know, I'm not quite sure how to interpret this message, but I am going to tell you that now that he's on the other side, everything's gone. Everything's clear. Everything's perfect. His body is perfect. His mind is perfect. Everything is perfect on the other side.
Okay.
And one of the things that he's drawing me to now is like I said, I'm going to try to be very careful with my words. He wants you to know that when he got over to the other side, he's been able to move forward from everything in the past. And he would like you to start stepping forward beyond the past. The image that he's given me is that of a woman who's dressed in a white gown, and she's starting to cross a river. She's leaving one shore that she's known, but it's time to move over to fresher pastures. And he says it's time. That he wants you to know that with all his heart and all his soul, he wants you to be happy again. And I hope those images make sense to you.
Oh, that's a pretty image of the river, you know.
It is. It's actually a very serene scene.
You know what it means, though, right, Shar?
Well, just what she said, I guess, you know.
Yeah. It's
changing.
It's what it's come up in a few other readings. You know, you're going to have to cut ties and move on.
Yeah.
You know, leave this, what's been holding you down for the last little while. You've got to cut that out, leave it, and move on, and you're going to be fine.
He says he's always going to be there. And he's actually got a really handsome smile. I just saw him smile. He's got kind of a bit of a half smile.
Yes, like Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really cute smile.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very handsome.
And he's a little quirky. He's got a bit of it's not a really outlandish sense of humor. It's more of a, you have to be paying attention to get the joke. But if you get the joke, it's funny.
You know, I was just going to ask you, could you ask to make sure that it's my son that's talking to you and not my dad? My dad's got a real dry, smart-ass sense of humor.
I wouldn't say it's smart-ass. It's just, it's a real sweet, quiet sense of humor.
Oh,
he'd be the one to kind of catch. He'd be the one to kind of catch you if you weren't paying attention.
You know, he has what did his teacher say? He has a great comedic sense. So, yeah, you know, it kind of runs in the family. Does he? I'm just trying to figure out. Does he say anything about what's on the other side of the river?
Peace.
So does that mean I'm going to die soon and go to heaven where it's peaceful?
Oh, he says, no, you got years on you.
Oh, no.
He says, you've got years ahead. He's coming through tonight because he wants you to learn to laugh and to live and to love and to enjoy what years you have.
Yeah, and, you know, your first part of your reading when you said he was proud of me for getting up every day, yeah, I'm proud of me for that, too. It's not been easy, you know, but I'm doing the best I can. That's all I can say.
Well, he says it's more than enough and then some. So know that he's really proud of you, and even I'm proud of you. It's an amazing thing to do, to get up every day after such a loss. And he says it wasn't 100% expected.
He said what?
He says he's trying to explain to me that it was and wasn't expected. It's kind of like you were hoping that it wouldn't happen.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Oh, it's kind of like it was a horrific fear, you know, in my soul from when he was little. You know, I was always afraid that he was going to die, that something was going to happen. His whole life, I worried about it. So it's I'm kind of, I don't know, what, psychic too, I guess?
That would be about right. He says next time, imagine getting large sums of money, not his death.
Concentrate on the good stuff.
Tell him to give me the numbers, okay? I need the numbers for the lottery.
He's working on it, he says.
Yeah. You have those numbers.
You know,
you
Dave,
just don't know what order they're in.
Well,
or when
I
they're
have
coming
been
out.
getting numbers. You know, people give me numbers, but I don't know what they're for. So I'm wondering if I should be collecting these numbers.
Yeah, it's a combination for a pirate safe or something.
Oh, yeah.
That you never found.
Right.
Okay, guys, I've got to take a break. And that means you do, too. We're going to be right back with more from these hobos right after this.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Hi there, this is your psychic medium Joanna, and I would love it if you would join us every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. With host James Tyson, we'll bring you personal psychic messages on 2 mediums and a large. Questions about love, life, career changes. We would love it if you would come and join us live. Call in and listen in for the experience. Allow us to open the doors to your other side. 2 mediums and a large, heard only on Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for news beyond the mainstream news? Head to spacedoutradio.com and check out the SOR Spacewire. This is Spaced Out Radio's Eric Markham, News Director for the SOR Spacewire. Daily, I will bring you intriguing stories and outlandish reports from what's going on around the world. UFO sightings, paranormal activity, conspiracies, alternative health, and so much more. And if you have news, email me at news@spacedoutradio.com.
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners, for only $5 a month you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
Strange creatures lurking in the night, the sounds of wood knocking in the forest, odd happenings right out of a fictional world. These are the reports I love. Hi there, this is author Ronald Murphy, and I would love it if you join me and Spaced Out Radio host Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month on our journey into the unknown land of cryptozoology at spacedoutradio.com. From Mothman to Frogman and everything in between. Hey, they don't call me the crypto guru for nothing.
Greetings and salutations, space travelers, from the Chronicles of the Unknown team.
What is Chronicles of the Unknown? I keep hearing about this thing.
It's a new paranormal reality TV show based right here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Follow our team as we uncover claims of activity on the Caribou Gold Rush Trail. You can also follow us here every third Monday, where 2 members of our team will be available to answer your questions. We'll give you some equipment updates and some of our experiences on the road, right here on Spaced Out Radio.
For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Find yourself constantly looking up in the sky, looking for answers? Have you had extraterrestrial contact? Are you an abductee? Looking for answers to your experiences? Hi there, I'm R. Keith Andrews, Spaced Out Radio's resident ET expert. Join me live the first Friday of every month, where I take questions from the Spaced Out Radio chat room and help you understand those from the far-off world. It's 2 hours of knowledge every experiencer should listen to. Hope to see you there.
Hey everybody, this is Patrick Webster Small, and I'm here to bring you the Webster Phenomena every Saturday night, live at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking for aliens and extraterrestrials, well, we've got them. Big and tall, short and small. You're bound to find what you're looking for. So join me on the Webster Phenomena right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Hi there, this is Jolene with Rivulet Reiki and Readings, and I want you to relax. Let me help you chill out and get in touch with your body, mind, and soul. In this busy world, sometimes we need to let go, and this is where I can help. Visit my website, rivuletrandr.wix.com/rivuletrandr, or my Facebook page, Rivulet R&R, to set up an appointment for relaxation, Reiki, or readings. No matter where you are, it's time for you to make time for you.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Every month on Spaced Out Radio, we look into the deep and dark reports of cryptids roaming around the world with me, Rob Morphy from Cryptopia.us. I would love it if you would join me and host Dave Scott as we delve into the most arcane stories and reports regarding creatures of the unknown. My job is to hunt down the details and bring the evidence forward to you. These aren't your regular Bigfoot stories I'm talking about either. You can find out more about crypto history at spacedoutradio.com.
Tonight's edition of Spaced Out Weekend is brought to you by spacedoutradio.com, where you can now sign up to become a Space Traveler member. Now, for the final time tonight, here's Spaced Out Weekend's James Tyson.
Thanks, Dave, and welcome back, everybody, to Two Mediums and a Large. Tonight, we have Paisley Town. Get a hold of her at paisleytown.com if you want a numerology reading. If you are in the area of the Lower Mainland, British Columbia, Canada, drop by, give her a shout, and she puts on a number of courses, and I'm taking one now. You can tell, because we had our pictures taken in the little graduation uniforms last week, so that's kind of a clue that I probably will be successful in the course. Except I was half an hour late, but I'll probably get held after class for that one. And we have Skeeter, Welhouse. Get a hold of Skeeter at Blue. It has a Blue Moon Weavering. Blue Moon Weaver at gmail.com. You fell down a well again, Skeeter. Stop it. And if you want to call in for a reading in the last hour here, it's 575-694-6634. Again, 575-694-6634. And if you live anywhere out of the continent and you don't want to throw country codes on the front of that crazy number, just go to Skype and give us a shout at James_Tyson32. James_Tyson32. Please don't spell out the word underscore, because I'll reach to this computer and strangle you. Oh, sorry. Okay, we've got a caller coming in. She is she's given all her pertinent information to Paisley for a numerology, and then once she's got her numerology reading, hello, it's me, James, and once she's got her numerology reading from Paisley, we're gonna drag Skeeter kicking and screaming in here to probe the back of her brainstem. Off you go, Paisley.
So, Natasha, thanks for calling in from Houston. How are you doing tonight?
I am good. And yourself?
Good, thanks. I've got your birthday that you gave me on the commercial break. And when I'm looking at the number patterns for this birthday, it gives me strong information that you are, I guess your question was about relationship in the future. And it tells me that you are always there for other people, and sometimes you don't let other people be there for you. Is that correct?
It's not that I don't let them. Okay, yeah, that's correct.
The reason I say that is because you carry a really strong sense of responsibility, and you're very intuitive yourself. So you know what other people need, and you have a unique ability to be able to provide for other people in relationship what they need from you without them asking for it. Does that ring a bell for you?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
And so I'll say, in relationships, when coming to meet your needs, there's a little bit of unclarity about what your needs are that you need from the other person. And so sometimes it's hard for relationships to be drawn to you. Does that make sense? Like I'll say sometimes the wrong kind of relationships are drawn to you.
Yeah, like they're just not available emotionally. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do any cardio activity?
Cardio?
Yeah. Do you go to the gym, or are you on a sports team, or?
No. I walk a lot. Like I try to go to like treadmills and stuff, but not on an ongoing basis. Yeah.
Okay. The reason I'm asking about that is the name Natasha is the value of 3. Being born on September 30th, it's a value of 9 and 3. And so all those numbers indicate to me they're the element of air, which is like generous, compassionate, loving. I'll say like you have this artistic, creative ability to be able to help and heal other people in a creative kind of way. So very often someone with this birthday would work in either customer service or wellness or healing or nursing or counseling, something where you're providing care and nurturing for other people. It could be interior design or decorating or cooking, something like that. Do any of those things ring a bell for you?
Well, I volunteer through IRS.
Okay.
On the side, but I'm a bank examiner. But go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Being born in 1981, this information tells me about you that you're very independent and you take responsibility seriously. And so quite often people born in this year or people born in January or people born on the 1st of the month or the 10th of the month, the value of the 1 is considered the water element. So quite often it's administration, it's a structured environment, it's keeping tabs on things. And when I say communication, it could be languages, or it could be computer technology, or it could be accounting, or law, or justice. It's something very often like a teacher or a librarian. So it's like doing the right thing in an administrative environment that's structured. So that kind of falls in line with what you were just saying. When I add your birthday numbers together, it comes to a 4. And this 4 is considered to be the element of fire. And people with fire energy, what happens is sometimes communication isn't exactly as clear as you would like it to be. So, for example, when you're seeking a relationship, you might not put it clearly out there what it is you're looking for. And you may know very clearly what you're not looking for. Does that ring a bell for you?
Yes.
Okay, so because of that fire energy, what happens is I would say that you're a very passionate person, and you have 2 speeds that you go. You go very, very quickly, like you think quickly, you learn quickly, and you can be in the future with things and worry about things, but also you have a slow speed. And so things are either very fast with you or very slow with you. So frustration can come up because you sort of have 2 personalities in that you're quite independent and you don't need other people, and yet you love to partner with people and be social and be busy and be engaged with other people. Does that make sense?
Yes, that is true.
So this fire energy of the 4 would indicate to me that like doing treadmill or some kind of fast cardio activity on a regular basis would be really advantageous for you to be able to move yourself forward in meeting someone that's going to be a good match for you.
Okay, so you're saying that cardiovascular exercise, like running or something, is going to help me to expend that energy, to balance that energy of
Absolutely.
air and fire?
Absolutely. And so what happens with fire energy is that, like when I said, you go either really fast or really slow, sometimes people will only 1 fire number, which is what your birthday is, will do cardio for a while and they'll start to feel better and they'll start to move forward in their life and they'll start to worry less and kind of be more clearly on track. So then they think they don't need to do cardio because they're right on track. So they let the cardio go and then they're not sure where they're going forward. So very often, like, because the fire energy will present either as, it could present as being like lazy or lethargic or unmotivated or that kind of thing. But the resolution to it is for you to take action and move yourself forward physically. And that'll actually help in finding a relationship that's a good match for you. Being a psychic, I'm not allowed to tell people, hey, you should do cardio. But I can definitely say when people do have fire numbers in their numerology, if they choose to do cardio and if their doctor says they can exercise, their life will dramatically change if they can do the cardio and incorporate that into their regular routine.
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Oh.
It's Natasha, you're getting my reading, actually.
Really? You're born September 30th?
No, I'm not. I'm August 4th, but I'm fire too.
Same fire energy.
Oh, you're a Leo.
Yeah, I'm fire energy, and everything Paisley's telling you about cardio, I've been told already by other people saying. Actually, my dad, who has passed, came through and said, "I've got to get off the chair." In other words, get my ass out, walking the dog, getting some cardio.
So 1 hour of cardio will do it per day. How often?
So you already decided that it has to be a lot because you think really fast. So I would say you can start easily with 20 minutes, not an hour. And I would try and aim for 3 times a week. It's going to make a huge difference in your life if you can do it on a regular basis. So if you do an hour, and then you get invited out to a concert and you skip that day, it'll be hard for you to get back on the treadmill. Do you know that challenge that I'm speaking of?
Yeah, it can be a little harsh. I mean, very straightforward with guys. It can be harsh sometimes.
If you do cardio, you're going to be less harsh with your communication style. You're going to be a lot more clear, and you're going to think more slowly and plan what you have to say instead of just saying what comes out of your mouth.
Oh, God.
Really? So
absolutely.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought maybe it was just my personality. It's just me. But I know it's a problem sometimes because sometimes I'll say things without thinking. I was like, oh, man, I feel bad for calling him incompetent or saying something that's really mean. But it's like, oh, what's going on? But, okay, it's the fire energy.
Yeah, it is fire energy. And it's not that it's, I don't want to say it's rude information, but basically fire energy is really, really fun. And it's really high energy. And so we need, in order to have a balance with our friendships and our relationships and with our coworkers, we need to have fire energy incorporated in there somewhere. But for people that don't have fire energy, they'll perceive you as being, a little bit rough around the edges.
Aggressive. Yeah, they say I'm aggressive.
Absolutely. And you're not aggressive. I can look at your birthday and I can tell you have such a big heart. You help other people sometimes to a fault. You help others constantly. You're always thinking of the other people.
Yeah, and then, it's like I nurture others, but when it comes to them nurturing me, or it's just I get the short end of the stick, and sometimes I feel like, what's going on? I thought it was supposed to be a universal law, you give and you receive, but it's like I'm always giving.
It is supposed to be like that. But for you to do cardio on a regular basis, let's say 3 times a week for 20 minutes to start with, and incorporate cardio into your daily routine, like your weekly routine, you'll notice that for you will be like self-care. It'll keep you calmer. You'll be more focused and more clear on what you want for yourself for your future. And you'll be able to start meeting your needs and getting the things that you want because things won't be so unclear to you. It'll provide clarity and calmness and peace.
Okay, so I'm therefore nurturing my own self by doing that instead of
and when you nurture yourself more, you're going to attract a partner that wants to nurture you.
Oh wow, that's really great! Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I feel like it makes sense to you, right?
Yeah, it does. I just didn't know. All these years, I could have just exercised more.
Was there a time in your life, Natasha, where you were exercising on a regular basis and things were going very, very well for you? Did you used to be on a sports team?
When I was doing kickboxing, yeah.
Hello, that's perfect for you because that releases that. It releases that. I don't want to say aggressive, but that high energy. It releases it from the body. So when you're doing kickboxing, when that class is over, that's the best time for you to make a decision about something.
Okay, exercise, then make a decision instead of...
Yep.
Oh, wow. That makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. I'm so glad. Skeeter, did you have anything
like I'm Donald Trump.
Well, you're not. Trust me. Okay. Skeeter, did you want to add something for Natasha?
No, I just totally agree with you because I'm a fire dragon. I was born 76, and believe me, I'm a lot friendlier when I've been out on my walk.
Yeah, and
there is a lot of truth to it.
I played football and basketball. I played football till I was 21, and in my mid to late 20s started playing field lacrosse up until I was about 30. And I was probably one of the most mellow times of my life because I was just always going, always doing something. And then I went into Mountie training, which was like running miles and all this other stuff. It was like a military training. And you're just very, very calm. Like I was anyway. I was very calm. And then when I got actually doing the job, if you're not out walking around or making yourself walk around, and if you're one of those donut eaters that sit in a car for 12-hour shifts, you're just being a grumpy old guy. Reminds me of that Chief Wiggins on The Simpsons. Just a grumpy guy who eats donuts and is big and fat. But it's the people who actually, use their energy, burn it off a bit. And I do the same thing, Natasha. I will be talking to somebody and it comes out of my mouth and I reach to bring it back in because I know it came out sideways, or they're thinking that I'm saying it aggressively when I'm really not. And I just can't bring it back. So I know exactly what Paisley's talking about when, you say something, but it comes out not in the way it's it's like speaking in text. Like, I read that text you sent. That's horrid. Actually, no, I just, it's a text. Don't read it like that. Well, like you and I speak in text. Yeah. But
I avoid texting.
Yeah, do the treadmill, or actually even start off by doing the, going for a walk. It's Houston.
Actually, James, for her, walking's just not powerful enough to release that fire energy. Walking for her could make her more frustrated.
If you start on a treadmill, you could injure yourself.
But she's saying she's already doing treadmill from time to time, and she's done kickboxing. Good. So to me, that would indicate like she's got that. She's got the energy to do that. Right, right.
How long ago was your kickboxing?
7 months ago.
Oh, that's excellent. As long as it wasn't 7 years ago. You go to kick something and break a hip.
I just get lazy, but I just need to start. I mean, I do the walking, but it's not enough because I still have that. Like she said, the fire energy mixed with air is just too much, and I don't know how to contain it. So
it's not too much for everybody, Natasha. It's too much to not be released. There are people that are all fire energy. Like, for example, a good example of somebody that has fire and air energy with no water. Like, you have water, so you're more balanced. But fire and air energy with no water would be like Mike Tyson. Like, go, 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 go. Like, he's got a lot of fire energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, don't kickbox with Mike Tyson.
He sounds calmer now. I don't know what happened to him. He must have went on a retreat or something. He's so calm now.
It's his pet
He's got
tiger.
A good psychic.
He's got a good psychic. There you go.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks, Natasha. You take care of yourself. And remember, there's a guy in the chat room named Joey Coquino. Joey Giggles. He needs to get audited by the IRS. So
don't say that.
If you have an opportunity, go in and audit him.
James, you need to go get on your treadmill. Really?
Treadmill, you young lady. Why I oughta. I threw away the most exercise I got out of that bloody treadmill was taking it apart and throwing it into the container out back.
I thought you were going to say it was like putting your clothes on it, hanging your laundry on there.
Well, no, it had clothes and laundry on it for 3 years, and I threw it in a container about a month ago. And that thing weighed.
I'm going to take
like
you for a hike
car.
around the lake. I'm going to take you in Port.
Okay, I'll take my bike.
So
you can.
You're going to get your
hike.
cardio in.
Yes, dear.
All right.
What?
Joseph. Thanks, Natasha.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Joseph, how are you? I gave Joseph a reading just now. I had a whole bunch of information come to me about Joseph. I looked at his name on the chat room and I went, oh, crap. Not, oh, crap, he's going to die. But, oh, crap, was like,
I'm here.
I got stuff. I know you're here.
I'm okay. How are you?
You're okay. You're okay.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hey, Joey.
That was
That's
Paisley
saying hi. Is he gone?
I don't know.
Joey.
Joey, can you hear us? Joseph? Don't make me pull this car over, young man.
He muted his microphone or something. Is he still here?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'm on a
You're
very
back.
bad delay. I'm on a very bad delay. Bad delay.
Well, you sound good.
2, 3, 4. Joseph, do you want to hang up and I'll call you back? Stand by. Joey's going, no, I don't want to hang up. Oh, too late. Jim hung up on him. Why?
So
because it's my show.
So, Skeeter, have you had a numerology reading before?
Hello?
Hello. Is that better, Joey?
Hello.
Oh, maybe not. He comes, he goes. He comes, he goes.
Just like the wind.
Just like the wind up my kilt.
Hello, I'm here.
Can you hear us okay? Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I'm on a very bad delay.
Oh, you're still on the delay.
I'll call in with my phone.
Okay,
I'll
brother.
call in with my phone.
We can hear you now, Joseph.
Yeah, but it's the delay.
Okay.
We can hear him fine, except by the time he hears us talking to him, he just aged 5 minutes.
The show's over?
Yeah. Which at times is a good thing. And if anybody else calls, hey, somebody else call in before Joey. 575-694-6634. Again, 575-694-6634. Operators are standing thighs. No, they're not standing thighs. They're standing by. I should get a
And to
reading.
answer your question, no, I haven't had a numerology reading before.
Oh, perfect. So one of these days I'll have to do a reading for you.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'll have to do one for you as well. We'll have to trade.
Sure, that would be nice. Thank you. What part of the country are you in?
Washington State.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, if you had come down to Concrete, Washington with us, you would have met her.
Well,
Paisley.
I just got my passport, so I couldn't quite jump the border.
Oh, you can. You just got to do it before the 8th. Joey, you're back.
Is that better? Could you hear me now?
Well, we could hear you fine. It's just that by the time you heard us answering you, you needed to shave again. No, you're clear as a bell now.
Actually, I'm doing November, so I'm not going to be shaving for the whole month. I'm not gonna be shaving for the whole
excellent.
month.
Excellent.
That's right.
Okay. Skeeter, this is Joey. Joey, this is
Joey.
Skeeter.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. Thank you so much for taking my call. Oh, man, I tell you, I'm very stressed out with this election. Very stressed out. But I called in to talk to you about, I guess, get a reading on health, get a reading on my business, and get a reading on my love life. If you could do it all at one time, it would be greatly appreciated.
Well, let's see what's in store for you. Give me just a second to make some room for all those cards. So you just want the whole shebang. Is that correct?
He's taking the front page of the menu. Just wants it all.
I will do my best.
Okay.
You already had your numerology, didn't you, with Paisley?
Yeah, I did numerology with Paisley. I think it was the last time you guys were on. I did that.
Paisley?
Yes.
Did we talk about this where we had immigrants coming in from Vietnam years ago here, and older people, and didn't know their date of birth, so their identification was written down as January 1st.
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we had that and how that would affect a reading. Obviously,
actually, there's a lot of people that come to see me privately for a numerology reading, and they know the day that they're born, and their birth certificate has a different date on it. And so I give them information about both days because their personality, like if your name was Harrison and you changed your name to David, you're changing your numbers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So the name Harrison would carry energy. And if you don't use that name because you like the nickname, Dave or something, the name Dave will carry a different energy with added life lessons. So somebody who has two birthdays, or they're not sure of their birthday, but they're using this birthday, they'll morph into that kind of energy of that new birthday or that new name.
Okay.
Cool. Well, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. The first card that came up about your life in general is that it's shifting. And it's time to let go of a lot of old things. It's actually kind of suggesting that you might be a bit of a hoarder, that you like to collect things and not let them go. The big thing is to recognize that the emotional tie isn't to the object. It's to the memory tied to the object. So one of the things that you need to do is go through your life and go through all these things and decide what memories are actually memories that are for you and actually bring you joy, and what are the memories that are for other people and may not actually feed who you are, that you're just holding on to them because of who they're tied to.
Interesting.
It's kind of like they're telling you to clean out.
I'm an empath, so I think that might be my problem. Is I'm not doing it. Maybe I'm not using the gift right. I'm not sure.
Well, the problem is that as an empath, we tend to be drawn to things that may not necessarily deserve our attention. There's a great quote out that I've read a couple times, that the worst thing about being an empath is that you also feel bad for the asshole. Because you know how he's feeling. You know his side of the story. You got the heart for him. You know you really shouldn't. So start sorting through those things that don't necessarily feed you and release them.
Okay.
Because that's abusing your gifts and you in a way. Only hold on to those things that truly resonate with you.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
so does that consider is that with people also? People around me.
People also.
Is that including people? Yeah.
That includes people as well. But sometimes as empaths, we collect people just like we collect cars and basketballs and dolls and things.
Okay.
The next thing that's tying into this part of your life, do you ever get the sensation that you're falling onto your bed, dreaming, and then all of a sudden it feels like, boom, you hit the bed?
Yes.
That's lucid dreaming. It is an actual thing. You are actually not in your body. You are out of body, and you are falling back into your body at that moment.
Okay.
You do have this ability. Don't worry, it's not scary. You will not lose your body. You always return to your body. And just know that you are on the verge of having a lot of stuff coming in at you soon. So this clearing out and being aware that you are not only empathic, but that you are also psychic. I guess that you're clairaudient, that you have heard voices call your name, and you've heard people talk and not know where they are. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes, yes.
Okay. Just know that you're going to be amping up more and more and more in the very short-coming future. So a lot of this is going to be based on that. Speaking of sleep, how are you sleeping, out of curiosity? Are you getting enough?
I sleep at very weird hours, and that's because, this election is really getting to me, and I think it's getting to a lot of people too. It's just getting to a lot of us. We just want it to be over, So, it's more or less it's that, and it's just a lot of work this month. Being RSDCRPS Awareness Month, I have a lot of work going on. That's our month to shine, basically, because that's the chronic pain condition that I have. So this is the month where we do our awareness. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know that you need to sleep. In fact, the card scheme is basically literally saying take a nap. One of the important things about being an empath and also about having psychic gifts is that it does wear on you, and because you're being so sensitive to things that are important to you, things that are happening in the world around you, being able to shut down and sleep for a little while, even if it's just a half-hour cat nap, you're going to feel so much more alive and able to control what's going on in your life as compared to being sleep-deprived.
Okay.
Be sure to get in those extra hours of sleep.
Okay. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's what I said.
Did we lose her?
Oh my God, she was taken.
Elizabeth is here, I think. Hi, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm gonna have
How
to
are you?
grab...
I was going to ask a question, but I don't know what I was going to ask. So...
Did you hear us talking about treadmills and you decided to call in?
And what I know that the first thing that you were going to say was, so have you been exercising? And I'd be like,
not yet.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, how come I'm not getting her back now? Add to group call.
We're just looking for Skeeter. She got disconnected from Skype, so...
She's saying she got disconnected in the chat room. She's saying she got disconnected.
Yeah. I'm calling her back. I'm calling you back.
So, Joey, it's always a big issue for people that have like chronic pain management issues to get enough sleep, I would imagine. Is that kind of the consensus?
Yeah, unfortunately, when I was having that, immense delirium pain, the 8, 9, 10 pain, I was up all night long. I only get like maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep. Now, being that I have a new treatment that I try, and it brought my pain levels down to a normal level, but I still can't get back to those sleep patterns. It's tough for me to get back to the sleep patterns that I had before the accident,
Right,
so
of
and that's where, I guess I have to try my best to, get back to normal sleep patterns, because I never was able to get back to normal sleep patterns after I got this disease. So yeah.
Well, the good news is you can create a new tradition for yourself. So you might sleep 4 hours and then get up and sleep 4 hours, or you might be able to create something new for yourself, because things have changed, like from before the accident till now. So you'll find your groove, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, lately I've been more tired, around, the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock hour. So I usually go to bed at around that time, and I usually wake up around 10, maybe 11 o'clock, over here. It takes the whole day away from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the whole day is basically gone after that point.
Sure.
Now that we have, now that we have our daylight savings time back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But the other part of that equation too, though, Joey, is that you help a lot of people by your radio show. So when you're on the air late night, in your area, you're helping a lot of people that are having sleep issues too, or that are having chronic pain issues, or that are having insomnia issues. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing already. Awesome. It feels weird to get up at lunchtime when you people are getting ready to go home from work now, and you're just getting up and it's lunch hour. feels like you're a little bit off. Yeah.
I'm totally glad that I resonate with people, because sometimes I don't know if I resonate with people, because I do hear from people from time to time, and I also get a lot of nice PMs from people like, you're my inspiration, you're my motivation, and stuff like that. But sometimes I wonder, do I resonate? So that was nice to hear. That was nice to hear. So.
Well, you've got listeners and people are following you, and you're giving them what they need. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, since 5.5 years ago. So I've been doing radio. So and to bring them the shows that they really want to hear, to learn about their disease, and stuff like that. They really love to come and listen to those shows. So we actually started a whole new channel for them. So
right. James, you forgot to put your mittens on.
Well, I'm busy.
He's typing with a hammer. We got people in the chat room going, what's all that typing going on?
Learn that from Paisley.
That's right. I type with my mittens on now. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, right. Nice try.
Did you guys hear somebody earlier who was on hold that was like filing their nails? That was so
me.
Funny. That was you, James?
Yep. Stop teasing me.
The other thing, Joey, that's so great is that, the humor that you provide for people, that's all wellness. Mm-hmm. That's all generous, compassionate healing. Like your laugh and your contagious laugh and the way that you heal people.
Thanks.
It sounds like we might have Skeeter back.
We have Skeeter. I couldn't phone her, so she phoned in, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay. And you sound like you're speaking. You been on a cell phone?
Yes.
So you've got this tumor growing in your head now because you've been on a cell phone for 2 hours. Oh, my Lord, woman. Okay, you were talking to Joe.
My ear now.
You were talking to Joey, and there was a long pause, and you never came back.
What was the last thing I said?
Help me.
You said something about sleep. Something about sleep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You definitely need to get more sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you, Paisley, for stepping in and talking to him about the pain and sleep attributes. That was very helpful and informative.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
The thing I was moving to next is I was asking you if you're a bit of a perfectionist. If you
I don't
tend
know.
to take on things.
I don't think so. I mean, I personally don't think so. I mean, I try my best to make the right choices, and I do deliberate a lot, but I don't consider myself a a perfectionist at any mean, I don't think. I mean, like, if something fails, it fails, but I try to figure out how to fix it, so I don't really consider myself a perfectionist. I don't know, maybe other people do. I don't know.
Are you able to delegate work to other people, or do you take it on yourself so that you know it's done right?
There's just some things that I take on myself that I feel I need to do, but other things I do delegate. I do delegate a lot, actually, to the people around me, yes.
That's good. That's a really good skill to have. Rely on that a lot more as things are starting to change for you.
Okay.
You were asking about work, and this delegation skill is actually going to help your work situation. Your business will actually improve as you learn not only to delegate, but learning how to delegate the right task to the right person.
Gotcha. Okay.
So be more aware of who you pick to do what.
Okay. Gotcha. What about money-wise? What about money-wise for the business? Do you see money coming in soon? Because I need help in that area. I need help in that area.
Okay, let me peek and look ahead at the other cards.
Okay.
Let's see here. I want to ask for an extra card. Maybe that one's the money card. Finances, what I'm seeing, are kind of a little slow right now. And that's what's really frustrating because the bills are building up faster than the income.
Right.
Are you in year 2 or year 3 of running your business?
This is year. I started it in 08, but the business actually started 2 years ago. I actually decided to create the business 2 years ago.
Okay. You've got 2 more years before it's completely running in the black. Just know that I am not a financial advisor. So if you are having problems, maybe hit up an accountant or someone who is a little bit better with the numbers and knows a little bit more about business and how to open it up a bit more. A lot of what I'm seeing here is actually getting you redirected in doing just that. But it's not actually promising funds right now.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Don't be sorry.
I'll figure it out.
The light at the end of the tunnel is not a train. So
exactly.
Here's another translation on that reading, Joey. If the business is going to be in the black in 2 years, that means it has survived for that 24 months it takes to get into the black.
Oh, gotcha.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like it's been taken over by somebody else and they're going to get it in the black. You've actually it's going to operate and you know it's going to be successful. So just concentrate on, I know it'll be successful. I've got a 24-month bump and then we're good.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I get it now. Okay, I got it.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Some people, because we want immediate gratification. So we're thinking, oh my God, so it's not going to be in the black for 2 years. Well, yeah, but it's still getting in the black. And it means you have traveled from this point to that point and still operated the business. Obviously, it's going to be tight. And obviously you survive. So it's like you're still eating, sleeping, and pooping. And that's all we really need.
Yes.
He's not sleeping, James. What are you talking about?
Okay, he's just eating and pooping. But one of the Joey's questions too was on his relationship.
Mm-hmm.
What I see for love is you need to focus on you first.
Mm-hmm.
And she is out there.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm actually seeing two women.
Attaboy, Joey.
Nice.
Wow, all right.
Woo, woo.
Okay.
There's one who hasn't come across your path yet, but she's going to be visually appealing.
Oh,
there's
one
one who's actually nearer to you, who is spiritually appealing.
Spiritually
The one,
appealing. Okay.
basically, she more resonates with your mind, your beliefs, your soul.
Okay.
But is lacking in the physical woohoo department as to what triggers you.
Uh-huh.
Whereas the other one is going to be a little bit more shallow, but is going to ring all the bells and whistles for you visually. Does that make sense?
So, okay. So I have, okay.
Is there a girl out there that fits those two things?
So what is this? So what is this supposed to be, a love triangle thing? I don't understand. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, we call
one
that
is going to
polyamorous.
be a temptation for the other. Basically, you're going to be forced to pick between the two.
Oh, man.
Oh,
and
wow.
the universe
Okay.
is going to be testing you on this. It's a test.
Oh, wonderful.
Joey?
Oh, I haven't had enough tests before.
I've had that test, and I failed.
Basically, you're being told you can have someone who really resonates with you, and they're there by you now. Just kind of look around. Or you can wait for the pretty thing to come along and have a pretty thing.
You can have the
She's
cake
there
or
with
the
me
dragon
now.
fruit.
Like she's like around me, meaning like a friend of mine or something?
I would say yes. That's what I just got. Someone behind me just said yes. This person is actually a friend. You're already associated with them.
I don't know if I could ask if they, I don't know if you see them like around my area or over the internet, or where do I know this person from? Do you have any idea?
They're in the chat room, Joey. No, just kidding. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Someone that I love it. They're actually someone that you physically can touch and talk and walk by on a daily basis.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
And so it's someone that, I think the big lesson, if I was to really just kind of burn this down, is that looking for someone who hits all the bells and whistles, that person's coming, but is that really what you want? You may be looking at the woman with the substance in the wrong light. Because she doesn't hit the bells and whistles visually.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Oh, I have so many questions.
Go for it.
How does that work in the long-term relationship department if you aren't physically attracted to the person?
The thing is, if you meet someone that hits all the bells and whistles visually, but doesn't do anything for you mentally, once they start getting older and all that pretty stuff starts fading, are you still going to want to be around that person?
No, you get another one from Russia.
Ah, the mail order.
Joey doesn't speak Russian.
No, I don't.
Not like the First Lady
no,
will.
Not at all. Not at all.
And he's not Russian to find a girlfriend either.
See, Joey, we've all got a girl out there. Yeah. Mine is actually in a relationship somewhere in Sweden with another woman.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
She's about 6'3".
James
was on the volleyball team.
Treadmill.
No. James. What? She's tugging on my
filter,
leash
James,
again.
Filter.
Filter. Yeah. Filter. Damn the filter.
But getting back to James's question, if you have someone who mentally knows how to stimulate you, no, they're not all bells and whistles, but they have some bells and they have some whistles, but they can mentally stimulate you from now until the end, once all the bells and whistles have faded a bit with time. That's the person of more substance. That's the person that is going to be a better match because they're going to have a long-term availability to you. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yes.
And that's actually what you're looking for, is someone who's more long-term.
Yes.
Yeah. Find one with a cute sister. I'm the guy you do not take relationship advice from. Yeah. I think,
thank you.
I've just got a really quick one. Does Joey have like some positive information coming in the next couple of weeks?
Actually, he does.
Wow.
Okay, good. That's one of those ones where I'm paranoid about my own readings.
He was actually reading me in the chat room. And I
just started.
Wow, this is.
I just looked at it and sent him a bunch of messages about like you've had a bad. I felt that his weekend was really low, but told him not to worry about it because in a couple of weeks it's going to be in an upswing.
Yeah, there's actually some really good energy coming his way, both on a spiritual
what
level
area?
And a social level.
Do you know in what area?
Socially.
Okay. Wow.
You're going to have some chakras open up.
Nice.
Oh, that's
some
good.
energy is going to be popping open, and you're going to feel a little fresher, a little bit more invigorated. And
I like that.
It's going to be really awesome. And socially, there's actually some new people that are going to be walking into your life.
Okay.
So, new conversations, new thoughts, and that's going to build into your business, too, is that they're going to bring some fresh perspective.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
So, very good stuff coming.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate the time, and I know you got to get off the air now and close down, but thank you so much. Take care, guys.
Oh,
okay,
thank you so
Joey.
much.
You take care.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Well, that was
Have a
good.
night. Bye.
That was very interesting. And Paisley, I'm going to have to make notes on this because I was reading without cards again.
Oh,
my
good
gosh.
for you.
At least I didn't get an animal come through. Your cat says that you are going to... What? Oh. So, Skeeter.
Yes.
How am I doing? Is there any information that you could pass on to me? I'm still trying to find out what my name is or was in my past life. I did a past life regression, and I'm trying to identify what my name was so I can do more research on the fellow.
That's right. I was supposed to go back to your hotel room with you and tell you your name, huh?
Yeah, that's why I wanted you back at the hotel room. Oh, I mean, sorry. Yes, that's why I wanted you back at the hotel room.
Yes, that was the whole thing behind that. Perfectly innocent.
Exactly.
Just wanted a name.
Just a name and see my sketches.
Treadmill, right, Paisley?
Treadmill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skeeter? get on a treadmill.
This is all Natasha's fault.
This is Natasha's fault.
If you think about
Bless
it.
her. Natasha doesn't call in very often.
That was a fun reading.
Yeah. So anything?
Joey's reading too.
Oh, but you won't let me get one. Okay, Paisley. You're just like my mom.
We'll have to do some one-on-one, and we'll get you a name for that.
Oh, but you live in the other side of the planet. Okay, you live like 2.5 hours away, but it's another border, and with the election coming and the wall, you kidding me?
Well, if you let me over, then if things go really sour, then I can stay with you, right?
No, the wall, we can't. We have no. We built our own wall.
Out of what?
Out of what?
Yes.
We have mountains.
Why would you guys build a wall?
To keep out. Keep the illegal aliens out that would come north. Like, what's his name? One of those, good Reverend
Homer
somebody or
Simpson?
other. Homer Simpson, yeah. Simpson? No, I was just curious if you picked up anything, or you're picking up anything, but obviously...
The only name that jumped out was Ezerith.
Ezerith.
And it's a very old name, and it's not tied to the one that you're looking for.
No, I've got a ton of names from past lives. None of them connect to the guy I'm looking for. A good German boy. They're all like, just very Anglo names.
Well, how's this? When we've got time, I will walk you into that past life, and we'll grab a name.
Cool. Yeah, we can do that.
And we don't have to do it face-to-face. I just need time to do it.
Yeah, alrighty. Well, that sounds good. Did you enjoy yourself tonight, young lady?
Why, yes, I did, sir.
Okay, we'll
and how
talk.
about you, Paisley? Did you enjoy this?
I was a little bit bratty tonight, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
We're having lots of really positive feedback in the chat room, too, as well.
Oh, that's great. Because it's, we didn't have a lot of callers tonight. We've, which actually with the number of people who listen to this, it's sometimes good to have a night where there may only be half a dozen to 10 callers, because it gives you more time to talk to them. And, it doesn't get too busy where you're doing about a 2-minute reading and leave you really exhausted. But it's been great. And I will get a hold of you, Skeeter. And we would get a hold of you at Blue Moon Weaver or Weavers?
Weaver. Just
Weaver.
one.
Blue Moon Weaver at gmail.com. And if anybody's out there, just go to the Facebook ad for this. It's got their links. And Paisley Town at paisleytown.com. And for everybody out there who called in, thank you very much. Tune in to Dave tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. And please, for goodness sakes, everyone, keep an open mind.
This is our last goodbye. Young hearts will stop. Torn souls set free. All that we have is now. If this is what you want, then come to me.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. And hey! Let's be careful out there.
Far over the snow, what are those voices? They sing and they go. What are those voices? Look over the mountain. Because somebody hide, somebody bear. get the man there are enough. Run through the hail like a flash of angry bulls on the trail. Dead or alive, we are out to get you, dead or alive. If you're the one, better run away. Son, you are done, throw your gun away. Here comes the bounty to get the man they're after. No!
I see dead people.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Dave's not here!
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.